Hello and welcome everyone to Dr. Shirley Live. This is Dr. Shirley Clark, and we're doing it big again. I am so excited about this new series, Let the Millionaire Speak. And today I got another one. How you said she is so amazing. I love using that word because when God connected me with these incredible great people, it was truly amazing coming from gross poverty. Now to the point that I'm now hosting something called Let the Millionaire Speak. Only God can do what I'm doing now, that He will cause me and raise me up. And today I'm excited to have Ethel Davis with me today. She is a chief investor officer. Listen, she's not just a chief investor officer. I said like that. She is the CEO of her own company. I'm about ready to dance for you guys. Listen, I'm so excited that God is raising up women of color that know how to invest, know how to create wealth. And this is what the word of God tells us, that God will cause us to produce wealth. And so I'm excited to get this party started. But I want to check out all our streams. We want to encourage our partners right now. If you're watching, thank you, LinkedIn, for some of you saying, I'm going to be here today and watch Dr. Clark. Thank you, Facebook followers. We love you. Appreciate you saying as well. You're going to be watching as well. I want more in life. We just did Instagram. That's what took me a couple of minutes, because Instagram, you got to go live here and then you go over and get the key again and paste it again. Hey, it's all good though. So after, when I get through with all of this, before I bring you up, we're going to be on 20 plus pages. We're going to be sharing and sharing and sharing like crazy. So we've got about 2 right now. We're going to jump over to Facebook and share it like crazy. And so we are excited out there. We on LinkedIn, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, Facebook, everywhere, even YouTube. We're doing it good, girl. We are going to let the women know today that you can rise up and take charge of your wealth today. So listen, let me go ahead and bring Ethel J. Davis up. Listen, I need y'all to give me some love over in the comments and let me know you're here. Tell me where you're watching. Tell us your name, and then, hey, where you're watching from. And one of the later on in the program, if she allowed me to, I might say, hey, if you have a question for, let me know. And hey, I don't know. She might be able to have a little time to hang out and answer some questions. But Ethel J. Davis, come on up. We met, and it was just truly one of those Mary and Elizabeth situations. And so, Ethel, welcome to Dr. Shirley Live. And we've got an incredible topic today. And I know you can handle it.
Yes, Dr. Clark. I always ride with the best of the best, and you're certainly one of the best. I'm just so humbled to be on your show today. Thank you for having me.
It was such amazing years ago how we met. And the thing that really drew you into my life was that God birthed me into a greater level of wealth and understanding. And then I remember thinking, wait a minute, hold it, wait a minute. Stuff is happening too fast. The blessings. I see a lot of wealth coming my way. I'm gonna need somebody in my life to know how to handle $200,000, and I could just see it. And it was a matter of months that God brought you into my city for something else. And He let me see the
Right.
flyer, and I was like, what is this? And then I show up, and there you are talking African American woman talking about you are owning a investment firm, you manage wealth, and you start off. You got to have so much money, even for you to even work within. So, Ethel, listen. So let's start this because I don't want to waste any time because the rise of women investors, what we're talking about,
Yes.
taking control of people's
Yes.
financial future. And you know, Ethel, that you cannot just throw the shoe in the air no more.
No.
If you want legacy wealth, you're going to have to do something. Is
Right.
that correct? You're going to have to. Uh,
Absolutely correct. And if you want to go kind of biblical, it tells us that the seeds that we have, and the seeds is maybe our everyday paychecks, whatever they are, we have to plant them in fertile ground in order to make anything grow. I used to tell people, take out $20. And when I got through with my presentation, I would ask them, how much money do you have? Just $20. Because you didn't do anything with it.
mm,
And
wow.
so we have come a long way in realizing there is a whole ground, but we have to find the fertile ground to put our money into in order for us to go to bed and let it be growing in nighttime while we sleep. But first of all, we have to figure out how are we going to get the money to do that? How do we gain the access? What are some of the tools that we have in our own tool belt that we're simply not using? Because once again, we haven't been privileged to all the education and
Mhm,
information that a lot of other communities have had for generations to come.
mhm.
So some of this is very new to us, not only as women, African American women, minority women. A lot of women has not been able to really own their purse. They might be carrying a purse, but they don't own the
Wow.
in the
Ooh, that's good. That's good.
because
Now,
it takes us back to when we were children. We might have received a allowance,
mhm,
and we put that allowance in our purse. But really, did you own the allowance? Someone gave it to you. You had to do something to get the allowance, or some families not. The same principle applies to today. How are we going to get the money so that we can equal the playing field? So that
mhm,
we can invest, so that
mhm,
we can create multi generational wealth, so that we really can define our legacies and protect them so that it does pass down from generation. And how do we pass down the knowledge?
mhm,
Once we, because it's going to be important for us to have the knowledge. Now, knowledge is power, but it's not really power unless we execute it.
mhm, mhm.
If we're just sitting there with the book and we read it and we got all these marbles rolling in our hand, but we're doing nothing, that's really not power.
So
It's
how did you get into all of this? Because we don't, we see more and more African Americans getting into this area, but really you started so many years ago, and this was like deja vu. What is this? What?
very
Well,
simple,
first of all, like you said, we ain't
very
had no
simple.
wealth. We haven't had any wealth per se. So
I
how did you get into this over 20 years?
I came from a middle class family. Now, the one thing my parents was good at is savings, but they didn't have any knowledge about investing. So when I went away to college, two things happened. Number one, my friends all had trust funds. I didn't know what a trust fund was.
Okay, wait a
I'm
minute.
like,
Your friends had trust.
I went to KU, and because I became friends with people in my dorm, and as I became more acquainted, they had trust funds. I was there on scholarships and financial aid. I'm like, some don't look
I'm
right.
laughing because I know they were like, "Oh, what's a trust fund? How
I was like, what's a
did I
trust
get one?"
fund?
Right, you know.
Where'd you get the trust fund? And they told me that when they were born, their parents set up a fund for them.
Mhm,
And they added to that fund a little bit at a time because they didn't want their children to go to college and come out with debt. And I said, so tell me what's in the trust fund? I mean, this is how new I was. They said, "Oh, my parents own stocks." I'm like, "Well, how did they learn about the stocks?" And some of them parents, they had advisors, and some of them they did it was a do-it-yourself investor. And I was like, wow, that was just so foreign to me because no one in my family did we know anything about this. I never heard of
Right,
it.
exactly.
And so I wondered to myself, how many other Ethels are out there? And then the second thing that happened, I went to buy a car. And when I walked into the bank, which that's intimidating in the first place, you're going into a financial institution, no one looks like you really don't know what you're doing. You're thinking they're going to help you. But instead, I found they were asking, "Where is your husband?" I'm like, "I don't have a husband." And I could see the look on their face like, "Oh, we got one here." Because
Wow.
she doesn't know anything. She knows nothing about finance. That was my aha moment
Yeah,
because
you know what? And I'm gonna tell you, even to this day, as we were sitting, when my husband and I were looking at, wealth management, and majority it was coming through him, and so he wanted to look at it from, friends' recommendation. I knew you, and I was like, okay. So, Elton, I was sitting there with him, and they were male. Nobody asked me, even though I have a company.
mhm, then as you
They,
know,
they, 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 they assumed that I had zero money
zero,
sitting there with them. And
right?
so, since they assume it, I said, well, they're just working my husband's money and not
Mhm,
mine.
mhm.
Because they literally assume, I'm talking in the last few years,
That
that
still happens in
I,
2025.
even though they say you got to look, it was almost, you got a little something, something over here.
Uh-huh. A little something, something.
They don't know how to make 11 million, including, with us. I'm on my knees praying for hours to God to stretch and do and pay out the house. But they're sitting there assuming. So since they assumed, I just said, how much was it? Like, how much? I just said, gave them a little low number. And so you can get off of me, just stay with my husband.
Right, right.
Because you
Because
assume
once
that I
again,
didn't have my business won't even work for me.
right. Once again, they assumed
There was
that
something.
you had nothing.
Right.
And then think about how many before us as women were sitting there with their husbands, that the husbands might have been the breadwinner, but they were the ones controlling the money.
I'm
And
sitting there with a business that I make 6 people. And I'm like, I can create. But I just said, that's fine. And
yeah,
whatever. So let's get on some of these questions. So I want to make sure we hit some things. What were some of your biggest challenges you faced as a woman rising in the financial sector? You just talked about that. Now, so let's look at this about the rise of women investors. Why do you believe we're seeing such a rise now in women stepping into the investing space right now? What are you
right
seeing? I
now,
know it didn't just start now, but
no,
now you're seeing more taking more of the initiative. What do
women
you
are
think?
more empowered now.
Okay.
Look at the educational level of women. Look at the serial entrepreneurs as women that we have. We have amazing role models as women that we can look to. Look at the networks that we have formed where we can come together and collaborate with each other.
Okay.
And to be honest, the biggest one is we're stepping into right now is where baby boomers they're inheriting, other younger women are inheriting baby boomers money. So we're coming into
Okay.
this grand tier where women's going to be controlling a whole lot of money. So if
Okay.
you are an advisor or anyone in the financial arena, and you're not looking at women as on a rising playing field, you're going to miss it because women are
Ah,
taking
that's
control.
good.
They are carrying the purses, and there are big wallets in their purses.
Hmm. So
So,
are you in this whole investment, which there's a lot about playing it safe, aggressively, investing. Where do you stand on all of this with women?
Well, as women, we tend to be more conservative than men. And that can be a good thing, but it can put us behind the eight ball a little bit.
Mm,
What there's three type of investors: woman, female, male. There is the do-it-yourself. There is the validators that know a lot, but they need someone to kind of say yes or no. And there's the delegators. That's really where I fall in. That says I want an expert to help me with my
mhm,
investing. But either way you go, it's not really the risk, is knowing the companies.
mhm,
Anymore, it's not about going out on the golf course or having dinner and listening to your next door neighbor say, "Oh, I bought this company, I bought this company," when you know nothing. I remember Peter Lynch, who was the manager of the Magellan Fund at Fidelity. The one thing he said is that you should always know what you buy and buy what you know. So
mm.
women often are really
That's
better
good.
investors than men because we do the shopping. Peter Lynch made it big because his wife said, "Peter, I love pantyhose. You should invest in these." And he took his wife's advice. And pantyhose was one of his big companies that he invested in.
Wow.
So, as women, we really know more about what companies do we tend to migrate to. That probably is a good company to invest in because
Mhm.
we understand why do we buy it. More women are owning real estate. Have you noticed that the real estate arena, there's so many more real estate professionals than I've ever seen in our country.
Well, I definitely know that more and more are getting in because I'm somewhat indirectly raising them up. They're coming to be millionaires. They're going through my program. Just yesterday, I was talking to one of the ladies that became a millionaire, and she said, I just sold another house. I said, well, baby, how many houses? In 15 months, she worked with
Mhm,
me.
mhm.
And at the end of that 15 month in 2021, December 2021, I said, now let's look at where you at financially. And she was at the end, she became a millionaire. And so from 2021 to now, she says she had she had 17 houses or so, but she had just sold another. You're exactly right. But in the time, she had bought about 4 houses. God
Mhm.
raised her to buy property, got out of that, and just things. So she's just. I said yesterday, I was like, how many houses do you have? And she,
And
I
more women are in commercial real estate. The
well,
the KC Sporting Arena that's here in Kansas City, that was planned by a woman, an engineer company owned by a woman. So I'm not just talking about residential, I'm talking about big properties.
yeah,
Yeah,
wow.
women are actually being the powerhouses over that. And one thing I did a little different, Dr. Clark, I took out millionaire for a lot of my women because I told them, words, we manifest our words. So do you just want to be at a million? Because
No,
sometimes
actually,
words
but
are power.
you do know they said a single digit years ago when I started hearing these big boys. Digit they said is anyway, it's like middle class now because they were just, and you shared something with me. This is something I tell every session in my 90 days. I respect you. She said, listen to the word in the Bible, Deuteronomy 8 and 18. It said God will give you power to get wealth. There was no numerical figure
Numbers.
attached to that. No number. You told me that, and that was like a bell. The whistles and everything went off. So I tell people, if you just need markers along the way, but let's not be assured that it did not say some
It did not
figure.
say.
You told
And
me that. Do you remember you told me
I
that?
do because I strongly believe that wealthy, first of all, starts with your mind.
Mm-hmm,
Because if you have a wealthy mindset, then it opens up many more doors for you
mm-hmm,
to accumulate wealth. But
mm-hmm.
if you have a scarcity mindset, then you're doing this. You're holding everything and nothing's going to grow for you. I tell people, uh, take out the millionaire. Okay. Take that word out just for a moment for me. Because if you think about it, if someone is earning $100,000, and I tell them, if you're earning $100,000, really by the time of retirement, you should have more than a million. Because when you look at compounding effect of your investments and inflation, and you take all of that factor in, you probably need more than a million, depending on your standard
Yeah,
of living.
exactly.
So why
Exactly.
would you say, I just want a million?
No.
The,
See, and
the guy I served didn't say that all I can have is a million.
uh, right, exactly. And that, and what you, I know we praise that amount, but you're right. Maybe, like I said, if you want that like a marker, let me get, something to get, but you got to live off a little bit more. You have to really understand this is amazing. People think it's it's not as hard. And I know you know this, but let's I one thing I've learned hanging out with y'all, there's more than one way of becoming a millionaire. You do know
Yeah,
that. People don't know that. Uh, our property alone, after our properties,
yeah.
but
Most
we're
people
almost
don't look
just
at
with,
their
we
asset.
don't own nobody. We
Right,
own, so the full equity in both our homes
right,
automatically almost put us there. That's
right.
not even the
What
liquid that we have and investments and all. See, there's so many ways. I
it's
had to
anything
figure
of
out what
value.
y'all knew.
It's anything of value.
Right.
I know people that have artwork that's over
And
$1 million. I know people that have coins that's over $1 million.
you
I
just,
know
you
Taylor
said,
Swift's probably her diamond that she just got engaged to
they
Travis
don't have no
Kelce.
cash in the bank, but I tell you, they got collateral. That's right. They can get money, right?
Remember
Regardless.
back in the wartime, people put their money into gold because gold appreciates. It's always a hedge against inflation. So if you have gold, if you have jewelry and you have it insured, every time jewelry goes up, that piece of jewelry is worth more than what you paid for it. So what one day you want to sell it? You might have paid, $5,000. It might be worth 25,000.
Right.
That's why I tell people everything you should put your money into should be something that you can turn around and sell for more than what you paid for.
That's
That's
good.
investing.
Okay, right. Okay, there's a couple more things I want to ask. That see, people always look at it just, oh, you a millionaire, you got all that money in the bank. No, no, that is, there's so many secrets. Like you just said, you can have jewelry.
Most
It's
people that is a
amazing.
millionaire is not just sitting on a millionaire million in the bank because it's not growing.
It's not growing. I watched what's that, Grant Cardone during the pandemic time and coming out, and he was sitting there turning. He had $1 million sitting on the desk. Oh boy, into this thing. He said, "Take this money and you doing that and sitting here. Take this money off the desk." He would just kind of be, let you see it,
Right.
but he realized this money ain't making no money.
This money ain't making me no
Get this
money.
money back to where it can make some money. He literally said
Exactly.
that.
Exactly. Like I said, plant it in something
He was
fertile
like sitting
so
there,
that
it
it
don't make no
returns.
money. He says
Yeah.
not making no money. Hey, let's look at some of these things. I've got a few more minutes with you, Ethel.
Okay. Okay.
Here's some practical wealth building strategy. I wanted to help some ladies out for women who are just getting started. What are the first 2 to 3 practical steps they can take today to begin investing with confidence?
Number one is I believe that God calls for order. So number one, where the pitfall is that we don't have any savings.
Mm,
Most of the time, people do not have savings that would equal at least 3 to 6 months of their living expenses set aside. And so what they do is they want to start investing with a little bit of money, but that's not enough money. We got to save to start investing and making sure that we have a strong foundation in our financial health. So, for example, I like to keep at least 6 months of my living expenses in a savings account. But I like to set up a brokerage account because at 6 months, you could put that in CDs, you can put that in cash equivalents, you could put it in preferred stocks. At least you're making some income off your money. Then
Mhm.
once you hit that, then start going into investments. The other thing is a lot of people don't participate in their retirement plan at work or even if they have their own business. Set up your a SEP IRA and take some of your profit. It'll help reduce your taxes. Take some of that and put it into a SEP IRA, and you can put up to $40,000 depending on your earned income,
Wow.
but you can set that aside for you. And if you have employees, you can set it up for your employees to put away money for retirement. That is why so many people don't have retirement funds because they don't participate in our retirement programs. And that's
You
very sad.
know, I think it was last year, year before, it was talking about how people had lost money. You know, they got those, you know, that was into those 401ks and all those things. What happened, and I think what happened is that there was something that happened with the companies and things like that. And so they didn't, and this is another problem. I think you could maybe, I'm not the expert, but I believe what happened is that at a certain point, I do believe now that's just maybe that they lost a lot of money because they didn't know to turn it over to a good wealth management team. At a certain point, when you start talking about 400,000 and 300,000, and to just do somebody, you know, your jobs and things, and that people were saying they lost a lot of money that way, just they was having it there.
Mhm.
I know with having a wealth management team, when they start talking war and all these things. I knew when we was interviewing, there was a guy that he was probably in his 80s that had been in it about 70, 60 years or more. They said, this is the one that does this. I looked at him and I said, I already know they're gonna be the one working with us. You know why? Because he done been through how many years or what? He was the old kind of school, like been in the stocks. They know. And I'm telling you, as soon as they started hearing stuff like that, they started locking stuff down. We locked very, very, very tiny. You could, we got that back. You know what I'm saying? When those wars, you want somebody like you that know and watch the market. You've been watching it for years, for decades and decades.
I
Not
do.
everybody.
I
Well,
watch it daily. See,
that's
the
right.
difference is what kind of wealth manager are you working with?
Right there, you go.
I'm a fee-based wealth manager. I don't make commissions.
Right.
I don't sell any products that makes commissions. So therefore, the more successful my clients are, the more successful I am because I'm creating these portfolios, rebalancing. I'm doing the research on the stocks and everything for them to make sure that it is in alignment with their standard of living, with their risk level, with their ages. Because, see, the one thing that most people do wrong is they don't think about we're living longer now.
Yeah. They're
Okay.
saying
So
that.
a lot
Mhm.
of people, they come to me and they're like, I don't want to outlive my money. And the one thing that is a factor we don't know is our health. And so a lot of times as we age, our health can eat up a lot of our money. Going into
Yep.
assisted
I
living,
can tell you that.
going
I
into all of
experience.
those things cost a lot of money. And so, therefore, that's why we should always be seeking some growth. And there's always something growing, regardless of the economy. I knew people came to me and said, oh, I want to get out of the stock market. I'm just so scared. I'm like, no, you don't. No, you don't. Because go back, when we were in war, people put their money into gold. There's a lot of good gold companies, there's a lot of good mining companies. People always is going to have to eat food. I'm like, I mean, that just makes sense.
Okay. That is so true. And and you know what? You did this. Don't you remember? I have to tell y'all. This is this. Ethel Davis, VZD Capital, has been #1 in her state. Let me let you know who she is.
Well, I've been a five-star wealth
Through
manager.
the
There's
great, through
bigger
the
than me.
It's been
Much bigger.
#1 that she's been on in Forbes magazine. They multiple times. Wall Street Journal, the Huntington Post. This Ethel is speaking truth. She speaks what she knows, and she's an expert. When COVID hit and we was good in it, I remember. Wait a minute, must be something that the reason I'm getting to this because what you just said, something that we need to be invested in. I was laying in the bed and I reached over to my phone and said, what is it that I need to be investing in right now? You roll that stuff off, and all of it made sense. So in this every season, you just need to know what to invest in. You said #1 Netflix. Do you remember? You remember you told me everybody watching Netflix, we at home. Second, you told me doctor sign, all the attorneys at home. All of it made sense. Then venture down the road, you were talking about the medical thing that I can't remember the medical things where people going, and then you told me, I was like, the online shopping, it was just went big. You knew everything. This is guys, I wanted to let you know Ethel is an expert in her area. God has blessed her, and I just love that she didn't let me fast and pray. Her skill sets were there, her knowledge and her background, how to manage people money. And I remember you told me, said, Dr. Clark, I've made my clients over $30,000 or more in COVID. Okay,
Well,
that's my pitch for you.
COVID was a good season for us because, again, you have to really be in it to win it. Okay. A lot of times people gamble. Like,
Mm-hmm.
for example, people were following the meme stocks like AMC Entertainment. We can't get out to go see the movies. Why? I
Oh,
didn't get
yes.
that. They were investing in companies that had no earnings.
Right.
So I call that gambling. I don't have no monopoly money to be gambling with. I my people come to me because they're saying, Ethel, I trust you. And
Right.
this is a huge word, trust, to actually understand who I am, my goals, and to make sure my portfolio is alignment with me. That's why I don't take on every investor. I don't take on every
That's
client.
good.
Okay. Because again, I know who's a good fit for me and who's not.
Mm.
And I don't try to make any excuses for that because there's a lot of good wealth managers in my area. I think there's over 7,000 wealth managers here. I'm just, again, I've been very blessed to be a five-star wealth manager. I try to make sure I take care of my clients. I
Mhm.
try to make sure that they understand who I am and that I understand who they are. And so, again, you have to be passionate. You have to when you take a commitment, it's like a marriage. You have to say, for better, worse, richer, or poor, we're in it together and we're in it to win it.
Mm-hmm.
But where you're sitting there, I'm selling you all of these products and I'm out on the golf course. Am I really watching out for you?
Wow.
I mean, that's the thing people have to understand. Your wealth manager needs to be doing what they do instead of out here doing all these other things. Now, I'm not
Mhm.
saying you can't be a speaker, you can't do coaching, but make sure you're taking care of the people who put their trust and their hard earned money into your company.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is all I remember when we were looking for. We were sitting with one particular young man, and he was said something stupid. He didn't realize. So again, they didn't realize I was a wealth coach in the sense I don't know what you know, but I know a little something, something. When he
Mhm.
said to my husband, they up there talking, I'm sitting there. I said, "You would not manage my money." He said, "Well, we always have a car payment." I said to myself,
See, that was wrong.
I'm sitting there saying, "You are not manage my money because God told us not to be in debt." the biblical way, I'm already telling my people that God, and God done gave me a car, so I know that ain't right. So I
Right.
said, no, wrong
Right.
one.
Hmm.
Man,
Yeah.
if you think that you're always gonna be in debt, that's not
Then
good.
you will always be in debt.
Be the person for me. I said, when
You
I
gotta
leave here,
you gotta watch what your mouth is saying
what you
and the
say.
words
Okay.
that you're speaking over yourself.
Yeah. Okay. Let's tie up here. So let's see. Let me see if I have some specific questions that I want to talk about here as we close. Maybe one or two more, and then we are gonna close here. Now, I know you're a woman of God. So how has faith influenced your journey as an investor and CEO?
Faith is where I started because that's all I had. I actually have been in the arena for a long time, and a termination is how I started my company. And so when you step out on faith, that's all you have. You don't have a bailout plan.
That's good.
You don't have anything with your faith. And that is what motivates you and push you because, again, God said, I will take care of you. So you have to put your trust in God to say, as you step out and start your own company, I can do this. I can do it. If I did it for somebody else, surely the goodness and mercy, I can do it for me. And be willing to share your knowledge, be willing to help somebody else. Don't sit here and be, oh, this is mine. I started an executive mentoring program because I didn't see minorities in this arena. I want to help
Mm,
them to come into the financial arena. Sometimes they look at us and think, oh, you're not college material. Oh, you're not this. Oh, you're
right.
not that. The God I served didn't tell me that I can be whatever I wanted to be. I just had to place my faith in him. And actually, he's the one who gave me this business.
Hmm.
Yes.
Wow, that's great. Okay, let's wrap this up. Okay,
Right.
one more question because I know people always, we are really into practical steps and helping people. Because I know this, it can be so, all of this seems so big and way
Complicated.
out. So,
Yes.
but let's do this. Let's wrap it up with this. Looking ahead, let's see. I saw one I want. What trends in the financial world should women be paying attention to in the next 5 to 10 years?
Women should be networking with other women so that what you don't know, they can share their knowledge and you can help each other. And that comes to even in the financial arena. I think women should be working with more financial advisors, more female financial advisors, because we understand what they're going through.
Hmm.
And I have actually been very blessed. Not only do I have a lot of men, but I have a lot of women who are entrepreneurs. The Kansas City Business Journal has a group that's called Women of Influence. And I think today we have over 750 members. They name 25 women annually. And we have a luncheon. And then in January, we go on a trip together. And that is my tribe. Because when I need something, that's who I go. That's my go to group. And so I think if other women were around women that was good in finance and was good in medical, we would be better off
Mm.
with each other. But what we do, we pit each other against each other. That's wrong. We should be embracing our sisters and bringing them into the fold, and
Mm.
younger women too as well. So to get started, I would say talk to someone. Get you a coach, a wealth coach. Get your financial advisor. Get
Mm.
you someone who has the knowledge to help you to get to where you are today, to where you want to go. But sometimes we won't do that, and we
Mm.
don't trust each other. I
Mm.
don't know how many times that I have often wondered why I'm not working with more minorities because we don't trust each other. That's very sad.
Mm.
That's a very sad situation to me. And we
Well,
still do the good old
yeah,
boys now.
yeah, that we're not doing more.
We're
But
not.
here's the thing. And we're gonna keep sounding I say the horn on that thing. We really do need to try to really work together. It's relationship currency,
It
you
is.
know. And you definitely, how do you say, you can go far, but fast by yourself and go farther with someone else.
Absolutely.
And
When
so
nobody
listen,
doing it by themselves.
right,
Nobody.
right, right. Listen, rich people educate themselves. Poor people
They do.
entertain.
And they look who they surround
You
themselves with.
connect, right? Exactly, exactly. You got to surround
Rich
yourself.
people surround themselves by people that is in kind of in their same status.
Mm-hmm.
But
Exactly.
if you're the smartest one in your group, you're in the wrong group.
Yeah, that's a whole nother
Just
story.
saying.
I found myself being the smartest one a few years back. I was like, "Whoa, I gotta
You
get
got to
out
get
of
out of that group.
here. I gotta go up. I gotta find me
You
somebody."
yes, you got to get out of that
All
group.
my coaches had gotten so big, I couldn't get to them, And I was like, "Oh boy, I'm too small. Wait a
You're in
minute,
the
I
wrong
got to get
group. Absolutely.
wrong room on in
I
there."
surround myself, my
Yeah,
mentors, my coaches, they are all people that did big things.
right.
And that's great because, again, knowledge is power. I just want the knowledge. Help me with the knowledge. And
Mm-hmm.
that way, that I can pass that down to other people as well. But where
Mm-hmm.
we keep the knowledge just to ourselves, who are we helping? How
Mm-hmm.
are we advancing the kingdom? How are
Mm-hmm.
we helping to create, to change the trajectory of the financial landscape? What are
Mm-hmm.
we doing from our own little window pane?
Right,
That's
exactly.
why I want to be in this industry. I want to help all people that believe that they can change, and I
Yeah.
want to help them change.
Yeah, we have, like we say now, in the wealth community, if wealth, you didn't come from wealth, let wealth come from you. So I thank God for Ethel J. Davis being here today,
Thank you.
CEO of VZD Capital Management Service. She's the Chief Investment Officer. I thank you so very much, Ethel, for
Thank you.
joining me on Dr. Shirley Live. I know for people this is a scary place, but you don't have to be afraid of the
Don't be
places you
scared.
don't know or
Yeah,
what you don't know in general. Listen, on the way to know, you got to show up sometime. There's no, if you don't know, that's different, but you can change how you say that we're destroyed for the lack of knowledge, the scripture say. But I look at it this way then. If you're destroyed, what if you go ahead and connect with somebody or read a book and learn or whatever, be in the room? That
be in
means
the
then
room.
you will not be
Exactly.
destroyed any longer. That's all it means.
Exactly. That's all that
It's
needs to
something you don't know. And so after, if you want to connect with Ethel, I always like for people to come through me initially because I want to filter some people out. Ethel, unless you want to come directly to you, I didn't put a banner together. But listen, shoot me an email. You said, I saw this lady and I'm interested, Dr. Clark, in learning more. So I can just kind of do a little background check on you first. No,
do
what
our
I'm
due
saying,
diligence.
no, no, no. I would just
We're
scream a
teasing.
little bit, just how that goes. I want to
Yes,
make sure
yes.
she won't come back to me and tell me, wait a minute, Dr. Clark, something.
Right.
So we just gonna do a little assessment so you don't waste the woman of God time. But yes, please write me if you would like to connect with her. And then we will reach back out and let you know what's going to find out what exactly you're needing from her. It could be you're thinking one thing and it's not. And so one thing, they're busy, they're watching that they're taking care of their clients. And I really am more conscious of being referring people now. I don't just refer people into more effort. I don't do that anymore.
You have to do your due diligence
Yeah,
because, again, if
it,
they're not who they say they are, then that looks bad on you. I don't do
yeah,
that either.
exactly. I just don't do it
I
anymore.
know. If I
Used
don't
to,
know
but
them and I'm not working with them, I'm actually not going to say anything because, again, I don't want my name on that.
yeah, exactly, exactly. Listen, thank you all for watching. Thank you, Ethel,
You,
again.
Dr.
Love
Clark.
you. God bless you.
Yeah.
Everybody have a great afternoon and night. Listen, I'll be back out here at 9. I mean, no, today at 7, not on this, but I have a Zoom at Ethel at 7 tonight. It's a free master class on Pringle Riches Level Up, your wealth creation.
Okay.
It's about
Yes, that sounds
leveling up. It's
great.
free. So listen, we want you to go out and register. You have to register to attend. I'm not letting anybody in. I'm like you. Now, if you really want this, it's free. Go to my
Let's
website, Dr. Shirley Clark, and you see on the tab Level Up Wealth Creation. Just go there, click on it, and register before 7 o'clock tonight. If you're not on my list, I'm not gonna be out, looking to see
But
if
they
trying
should
to get
they
in
should
when
go right now and
I'm doing
sign
what
up
I'm doing. You need to register now. Go to
because
Dr. Shirley Clark. Let
you
me
have a
see.
lot to offer, Dr. Clark.
Yes.
And yes, so
Yeah, let
I
me
would
see if I
suggest
can find that. drshirleyclark.org. Go there and register. You'll see if you go to the menu, it'll show up Level Up Wealth Creation. After this is why I'm doing what I'm doing, because a lot of time we don't have the funds,
yes,
like you were saying, to invest outside of you still struggling just to pay your light bill, water bill.
right,
We know that's a reality for many of you. But
right,
God said he'll give us power to get wealth. And so I want to get you above that. Dr. Clark grew up in gross poverty. So you're not going to be able to tell me it doesn't work. So you need somebody to at least help you elevate you. I found out right now for most people, we can get your debt off of you, which is your home, your car payment. You have some money. And so what we got to do is learn how to level up your wealth so you can get out of those debts or opportunities. And
yes,
then two things happen. Number one, you have cash more at home, and second, your equities in your home. So everything get elevated. So it's a
absolutely.
free level up wealth creation class, master class with me tonight. Only 45 minutes. I promise you, I'm not standing out all day. It's all night. I'm coming just to see who's serious and then see if you're really ready to go to the next level. I know that's the issue. A lot of time we just don't have that extra funds and what to do with. But even so, you can start out little, like Ethel said,
Little
and start
shifts,
putting it
little
aside.
bitty shifts.
Putting it aside. But I want to level up what you have so that you can get more.
That
Quickly get out of that stuff so you can have money to invest. Listen, love you. God bless you. Have a great
you.
night. Thank you, Ethel.
Good night.